All right, welcome to the Vermilion Local School District Board of Education regular meeting, Monday, February 14, 2022. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Fincher, call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Habermill.
Here.
Mrs. Russell.
Here.
Mrs. Stepp.
Here.
Mrs. Ennis.
Here.
All members present.
Student liaison report.
Not this month.
Okay. Legislative report.
Yes, we've got two things, and Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. Last week, the House agreed with the Senate amendments in House Bill 51, and it pertains to school boards because there's a provision that authorizes virtual public meetings through June 30th of 2022. Legislation authorizing virtual meetings was first passed back in March 2020 in response to COVID, the pandemic, and extended by House Bill 404 through July 1st of last year. So this will start it up again. And this particular provision is in the emergency clause of House Bill 51, which means that as soon as DeWine signs it, it is active and in place. As of Friday, he hasn't signed it, I don't know what he did today or not. And the State Board of Education is working on administrative rules that will provide more detail on Ohio's new 5-star report card system for rating schools. So the new 5-star system was enacted in House Bill 82 last year and will be replacing the A through F system that had been used to rate schools. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Any questions? Moving on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Pempin.
Okay, I'd like to recommend a resolution to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Vermilion Local School District Board of Education and the Vermilion Teachers Association negotiation ground rules and attachment A.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, this is a document that we usually put in place, fortunately, every 3 years. We usually negotiate a VTA and a classified agreement, with the exception of 1 year since I've been in the district that did a 1-year contract. And usually what we do is just put these ground rules out so that we have a clear understanding of what to expect from each side. You can see that within the agreement was a stipulation that we're going to do the negotiations without attorneys, and that's traditionally what we try to do. Is we've had a good relationship with the union in the years that I've been here, and prior to that as well too. I think that we've always tried to do a fair job with both unions and get along as best as we can, and it's all worked out well. And so we haven't had attorneys involved, but there is a stipulation there after, I believe, that we don't settle it after 3 days, that both sides can talk together and bring one in if necessary. But I don't anticipate that to be the case either. So I think it'll go well, and we'll submit proposals to each other, and it's due to get started on March 15th, and that'll be at Ritter Library. We usually do that at the library. We were able to secure that location again this year. Any questions?
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston.
Yes.
Mr. Habermill.
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis.
Yes.
Mrs. Russell.
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0.
Is that all, Mr. Pempin?
Yes, that's all I have under superintendent.
Treasurer's report. Mr. Klingshon.
Thank you. Number 1, recommend a resolution to approve the financial report for January 2022, and that is attachment B.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All right, taking a look at general fund revenue by month Through the month of January, the district received $12.2 million in general fund revenue. That's compared to $12.2 last year at this time and $12.3 million in fiscal year 20. The district is on pace to collect its historical revenue. Moving on to food service revenue. Through the month of January, we received $505,000 compared to $212,000 at this time last year and $324,000 in fiscal year 20. With all lunches fully reimbursed from the federal government this year, revenue will continue to outpace our historical average. Moving on to all funds, through the month of January, we received $13.6 million in revenue compared to $13.2 at this time last year and $14.4 in fiscal year 20. Again, just like the general fund overall, the district is on pace to collect its average amount of revenue from all funds it historically has. Moving on to the expenditure side, through the month of January, the district has spent $14.2 million in general fund compared to $14.2 at this time last year and $14.5 in fiscal year 20. Overall, the district is on pace to spend its historical average, assuming capital projects are completed next fiscal year. Through the month of January, looking at food service now, the district has spent $489,000 in food service compared to $336,000 last year at this time and $508,000 in fiscal year 20. Food service expenditures are higher than historical averages. Primarily the cost of food has increased, and also with our increased participation, we just have higher food costs in general than we historically have. But again, after this fiscal year, I'm not exactly sure whether we food service go back to no longer being reimbursed 100% by the federal government. Our plan then for food service should drop back down to what it historically always has been, from participation rates, the amount of food we purchase, everything like that. Moving on to all fund expenditures. Through the month of January, the district has spent $15.7 million compared to $15.7 million last year at this time, and $16.8 million in fiscal year 20. Total expenditures so far this year is slightly lower than historical averages and closely following our spending last year. And then looking at cash, when we look at our cash from the general fund through the month of January, the district has $15.6 million in cash compared to $14 million at this time last year and $13.9 million in fiscal year 20. Moving on to food service cash through the month of January, the district has $196,000 in cash compared to $50,000 at this time last year and $194,000 in fiscal year 20. And then looking at all cash for all of our funds through the month of January, the district has $19.4 million in cash compared to $16.9, I'm sorry, at this time last year and $17 million in fiscal year 20. Taking a look at our investments through the month of January, we've earned a total of $96,498.45 on interest, compared to $111,995.15 in fiscal year 21. So it's a difference of $15,500 or 13.8% less. Are there any questions?
Call roll, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Habermill?
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp?
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Number 2, recommend a resolution to approve the capital plan 2022-2026 and as attachment C.
So moved.
I'll second.
So what we've done, we wanted to make sure that the district really didn't have any large purchases in the next 10 years, so this capital plan is to address those. We do have some concrete work that we need to get completed at the middle school, or I'm sorry, the high school and the elementary school. Again, as we go down by buildings, you know, the main thing at the elementary school is that concrete replacement in front of it, seeing as how it's a newer building. Once we start looking at the middle school, though, there are some large issues there. We do have to have a new roof put on, along with rooftop windows and an entire HVAC replacement. That currently is out to bid right now. I haven't gotten pricing back yet for any one of those three, but we should anticipate that within the next couple weeks. And hopefully we will start work on that this summer. Looking at the high school, again, that's just going to be concrete replacement in front of the building. And then we have some leaks popping through the roof here, so we're going to do an infrared scan, see if we can identify where those leaks are coming from and repair that as well. The roof on this building does have a warranty. We just need to make sure that it's still active, and the things that are wrong or damaged with it, we can hopefully file those under warranty. When I got here back in 2018, I think we replaced a lot of the parking lots. We'll need to continue to put some preventative maintenance in there for crack and sealing the parking lots, just to extend the life of those things. Also, we need to replace the video cameras for the entire district. A lot of those were installed back in 2007. Anymore, the granularity isn't so good on those, and so we've had a company come in and take a look and provide pricing for replacing all those. I think they're going to be in here over spring break to replace the cameras, and then over the summer to replace all the cabling that they need to take down. Another thing here, just increased lighting at the transportation garage. It's pretty dark out there, especially at night and early morning there for the drivers. We want to make sure they have visibility to their buses and be able to do things. So increase some of the lighting out there. There is some damage to the asphalt around the stadium that we'll take a look at and get quotes for as well. Moving on to classrooms, just a new phone system for the entire district. The phone system was put in 2007, the same time the video cameras were. A lot of the telephones now, once they do break, we're able to find parts to actually fix them. Just the whole system itself needs to be replaced there and updated. Sean is working with building principals and also staff there for taking a look at all classroom sound and whiteboards, also projectors. A lot of those, same thing with the phone system. Just the parts are finding they're becoming increasingly more difficult to replace, just based on the age. Looking at the fleet, we do have life cycle costs for the fleet. We do try to replace one bus every year. However, this year, they're having a difficult time getting those buses. We just put a purchase order in for 2 additional buses for next year. They're taking about a year to get. And when we need those replaced, we don't want to have to wait. So we might just do 2 this year, wait another year and do 2 again. Or if that supply chain frees up a little bit, we might start going back to 1 year every year. And then everything else, just last thing here is just the debt. So we do have a certificate of participation. What we'll do with the capital plan is to continue to pay that, but hopefully not a set no fund in the future. That payment for that is about $1.2 million a year, and it'll expire in 2037.
What kind of concrete work do we need in front of the elementary school?
I was wondering the same.
Not very old.
No, unfortunately, the warranty's expired, and concrete is heaved in some spots, and we're going to have to replace it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Problem areas.
Yeah. Justin, I have a question. Down there at the fleet you talked about, it says trading a van for a regular cab truck. Is that for maintenance?
Yeah, it'll be for maintenance.
So will that be equipped with a plow as well, or?
That'll be the goal,
Okay.
is to have a plow on it. If not, we can always put a box on it. But yeah, the van that they have now that they run around with, that thing's starting to body work just fall apart. It'd be easier for us instead of having a van just to put a regular cab on there, so we have the versatility. If we want to add a plow to it or add a salt hopper to it, we can.
Sure. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Number 3, recommend a resolution to establish and approve the capital projects fund, and that is attachment D.
I'll move.
Second.
So what this does, it's a resolution for the board, and it basically advises me, allows me to establish an 070 fund. Right now, all of our capital projects, all of our debt, all of our bond replacements, all of that comes out of the general fund. What the 070 fund will allow us to do is to establish that, transfer the money that we would be paying for the capital projects out of the general fund and place it in the 070. That way, it basically earmarks us money every year to put toward that capital plan, so we can ensure that we stay on track with doing it, rather than leaving that money in the general fund and finding other ways that other issues pop up. So that's what this is. It's just to establish another fund that will allow the district to transfer up to $2 million a year into that fund. That fund cannot increase or cannot go above $2 million. That's the maximum amount of money that's ever allowed in there at one point in time. After we spend that down, again, I'll ask the board to allow me to transfer money every year over there to cover our capital project purchases.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Number 4, recommend a resolution to authorize the treasurer to transfer up to,
I think we created the fund, created or transferring, yeah.
yeah, that's what number, yeah. And then we'll do this for the purpose of the auditors, just to have it documented in our minutes. Recommend a resolution to authorize the treasurer to transfer up to $2 million from the general fund to the capital projects fund.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions?
When I get audited and they ask for it, at least I have it documented here, that's what that's for.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Number 5, recommend a resolution to accept the following donations for esports as listed.
Motion. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Number 6, recommend a resolution to accept the following donation for the boys soccer program in memory of Cliff Parsons as listed.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. And number 7, recommend a resolution for the board to approve $1,000 donation for the Tertiac Scholarship for Musical Excellence.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Stepp.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8 would be the consent agenda. The superintendent and treasurer recommend that the board... Oh, sorry, 7. Any items for discussion?
Actually, just one thing. And I know it's something that we manage as best we can. I did have somebody mention to me about traffic on Sailor Way in the mornings.
It is a lot
And-
better now.
Well, so what, I don't know if like we just need that resource officer present out there or whatever, but like when people are sitting on Sailor Way waiting to get into, say, the elementary school, there's people driving out around them in the wrong lane just to get off the road, right? So if people were patient and waited, it would be fine.
Right.
But from what I'm told, there's like people driving around people just to get where they're going.
I'll let them
It
know
was
again. At the last meeting, we
hairy
had some discussion
when-
on that.
The bridge was closed, it was terrible,
Well, it
but
was really hairy in the beginning, but it's getting better. This is, I don't want to mispronounce it, but David's someone new at the light, and she's doing a much better job of letting it flow.
that's
But
Mrs. Jenkins.
Yes, Mrs. Jenkins.
Yeah, yeah.
she's doing a lot better, but it is just, I don't know if there are a lot more car riders this year or what. It is
Yeah.
worse this year than I've
It
ever
is.
seen it.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's busy. It's
It
just
is.
if people were patient, it would probably be just fine, you know,
Yes.
it's just,
Yeah.
but.
I agree.
I believe
It
we
is
had
very
some
good.
audience participation last time, and I went right away to the SRO and talked to them about giving it extra attention and to talk to the chief as well, and hopefully, I saw things move better. I'm not out there every day, but when I'm out there, I try to observe what everyone else does and just make sure it's flowing. So I'll talk with them again and keep reminding them, but it seems like every 3-4 weeks, we've got to give another reminder to them.
I've seen like an officer out there about once in a while.
Yeah, it's
They'll
rare.
show up, but
And something,
And
I
it
think
does
Mrs.
work
Bartlett
better.
probably got some complaints too, because I know she did like an all-call not long ago. and
About the
then-
traffic,
About
yes.
the traffic and the
Yes.
proper flow of, what you're supposed to do, and,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, trying to remind people.
I'll remind them again, and I'll talk to the principals as well and see if there's anything we can do to keep it flowing. It seems like this is going to be a constant reminder that every 3-4 weeks that we're going to just have to do our due diligence.
It's almost like if he would just park his car on the side of the road
Right,
and
just
sail
have
away,
a presence there.
people would just do what they're supposed to do. you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw the tracks one time of someone that just cut straight across that section there by the elementary.
Ugh.
It's too bad that there wasn't a police officer there at that time because they turfed the field, they turfed that grass.
oh my.
It's a tough situation.
yeah. It's crazy sometimes. I've seen after school where I'm waiting, on the side of Sailor Way Drive, and there'll be somebody waiting to turn in there, and they just go right, and there's kids crying, and I'm like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
With their patience.
yeah. They do good, the people that are, the teachers and whoever's out there, they do good with the crosswalks with the kids, so I will say that, they're
Yeah, I
making sure
agree.
those teachers are right out there, like, nobody's getting past them with these kids, so, yeah.
Any other items? Number 8 is the consent agenda. The superintendent and the treasurer recommend that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda items. Action by the board is in adoption to the consent agenda means that all items are approved by one single motion unless a member of the board, the treasurer or superintendent requests that any of such items be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately. Number 1 is the minute of January 10th, 2022 organizational meeting and regular meeting. 2 is approve the 2022 indoor track athletes and coaches to compete at the OAT-CCC State Indoor Track Meet, March 4th through 5th. Number 3 is approve Vermilion High School's membership into the 2022-2023 Ohio High School Athletic Association at the 7th through 12th grade levels. That's attachment F. Approve the 2022-2023 school calendar, attachment G. Approve the 2022-2023 EHS course guide, attachment H. Approve the following employment action resignations as listed. Number 7 is a 1-year classified contract for the contract year of 2021-22 to as listed. Number 8 is a 1-year additional duties contract for the contract year of 2021-2022 as listed. Number 9 is a 1-year supplemental contract for the year 2021-2022 as listed.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any items need to be removed or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Steph.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0.
Number 10 is public participation. The board president reserves the right to limit time. The public participation section of the Board of Education's agenda is specifically designed for the public to address the board with their compliments, concerns, or questions. The board welcomes your comments. If you wish to address the board regarding a problem, the board would remind you of 2 things. First, your comments should be factual and respectful of others' rights. Second, before coming to the board with a specific problem, you should at first address the problem with the appropriate teacher, staff member, or administrator. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak tonight?
Sure do.
Yep, 3 minutes, we'll do 3 minutes.
What happened, Joseph Jones, 218 Essex Drive. This is questions for the presiding officer. What happened at the last meeting? Why was there no microphone? What was up with that? You know that's not a legal way to conduct a meeting, so why was that not taken care of? Why was the YouTube not uploaded? What's the issue?
Mr. Beckman, I believe it was, that person was ill, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't have a technology director available.
That is not acceptable, all right? There are sunshine laws that say that you have to do that, and you didn't, all right? My whole issue with you guys this year has been that you don't follow the rules. You don't do anything consistently. You don't have the room. You don't have the same meeting in the same room consistently at the same time. You don't do anything but what is best suited for you guys, all right? My kid is in therapy right now because of the environment that you guys have created here for this district, through your policies, not through anything else, all right? The rules are here for a reason, and they are there for you to follow them. And when they don't, you are to make some sort of compensation to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But we're always holding our hands open to you guys. I know you guys were looking forward to me not being here today, but guess what? I'm here, and I'm not going to stop for the rest of the year. I sent you guys an affidavit, all right? And you guys sent me a cease and desist letter, all right? And then the very next meeting, you make sure the microphones don't work. And you make sure that everybody's split up real far away and nobody can talk. That's intimidating. That's bull crap. Do your jobs. Bottom line.
Okay, I'm gonna say something too. Our meetings are consistently.
Did you break the law?
No.
Yes, you did.
Absolutely not.
Sunshine Law says you have to record these meetings and upload them to the public. You did not do that. You broke the law.
We recorded it, it was recorded.
I will say it was recorded.
It was recorded.
You came here, but
Our
you guys,
meetings
the
are
audio
always-
was kind of,
Our meetings are
janky
always
on
on
the
the same
last
time.
video.
We have changed them from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock for the foreseeable future.
You guys have not done anything consistently.
And you can't help when somebody's sick. I mean, he was sick. I mean, last minute sickness
Yeah.
comes off.
And that's another thing, the COVID thing, where you guys called off school for a week and now we don't have any calamity days. And look at the stuff that we had to deal with. So now we have to extend the school year?
I do
No.
agree,
You do
Joe,
not have to
I'm not trying to go
extend
against
it.
you on this one, but I do agree with that decision. Like, after Christmas, everybody was sick. Everybody I know was sick. I mean, it was insane. I had it, and, you know, that
I
whole,
had it, my
was,
daughter had it.
I mean, I think that was the best decision to call off that week and extend it. I mean, I know calamity days and stuff, but
For the
you know.
record, we do still have some calamity days left at this point as well.
I do think that was a good
Hopefully, we
decision.
won't have to use them, but we do have some.
Yeah, and the volume was off on the last meeting, but I think it was just because they didn't have, like, you noticed that we didn't have the.
The volume was off
The
and we were about
tech guy.
20
But
feet
he
back.
wasn't
There was
here.
no way
It
that.
was
Well,
just-
we all need to move up. We all need to move up.
Closer.
Yep, we
And
did.
you
You
denied
declined.
that.
Asked for you to move up.
Yeah, and I
If
can
the
hear.
closest
Very
spot
much
was
so
20
did.
feet, I still wouldn't be able to hear you.
It was
It's fine.
the same
I get what
distance.
you're
We're
doing.
not gonna win this one, no.
Okay,
Just clarifying.
Yep.
thank you. Anybody else? All right, dates and locations for upcoming board meetings. Located at Vermilion High School in the Workforce Development Room, 1250 Sanford Street. Vermilion, unless noted. Regular meeting Monday, March 14th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Regular meeting Monday, April 11th, 2022 at 6 p.m. And a regular meeting Monday, May 9th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Number 11 is to recommend a resolution to move into executive session for matters required to be kept confidential by federal law and rules or state statutes.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Habermill,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Russell,
Yes.
Mrs. Steph.
Yes.
Motion approved 5-0, and the time is 6:30.